नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। So as we all know, this Upanishad is a dialogue between a very apt student called Nachiketas, who had approached the Lord of Death, Yamaha, and the perseverance of the student to learn the ultimate truth, where he asked that he is not going to settle in spite of all temptations being given by the Lord of Death to find out, whether the student, how steadfast is the student for that. To understand this, he even tempted with the celestial, happiness, as well as the life of a king who owned the whole earth, with all the benefits of the Swargaloka also. Yet, not, tempted by that, Nachiketa still insists on learning what is the truth about life. Some people say that after death something exists. Some others say nothing is, this is the be all and end all of life. I want to know the truth. And then Yama says that, it is very subtle, very, very difficult to understand. So for which Nachiketa says, when you say that it is subtle and very difficult to understand, means you know the truth. So I'm all the more interested that I'm not going to live without knowing that. And that starts the dialogue between them. And we have seen that what are the ways in which different examples and different ways in which Yamaha has given the etad vaitat. This is that indeed is the way in which he has mentioned in many of the shlokas, mantras before. And in the last class, we saw that, one of the most, essential part of this Upanishad, or the heart of this Upanishad, was done in the last class. Agnir eko bhuvanam pradishto rupam rupam pratirupo babuva. Ekastada sarvabhuta andaratma rupam rupam pratirupo babuva was an example given that. Just as light entering any of those places illumines everything, the entirety of the place, and the entirety of the place is limited due to the walls of the place. But if the walls are not there, it will go everywhere, including outside, Bahishcha. Same is the case with Vayu, which is contained in a container, is not limited the container, it is within and outside also. So, like that, the Sarvagadatvam of the Antaratma, even though it is called Sarvabhuta Antaratma, it is the inner self of everyone. But at the same time, it is Bahishcha. It is also there outside. So, the spark or the light which is felt inside is not limited to the inside. It is also outside. To give that as an example, he said in the last mantra that Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyado bhanti kutoyam agni ameva bandham anubhati sarvam tasya vasa sarvamitam vibhati. It cannot be enlightened, or it cannot be divulged in the light of the sun or the stars and the moon, nor by the flash of lightning. And what to say about this perishable Agni, or the fire which we see in our day-to-day life on the mortal world of earth. Tameva bandham anubhadi sarvam. Only when that shines, even the sun can shine, the moon can shine, the stars can shine, even this Agni can shine. Tasya vasa sarvamitam vibhati. Only by the light of that Atma Tattvam, only when the awareness of the Atma is shining on the object, we are becoming aware of those objects existing there. So it is very clear that it is not limited to within our own, individual awareness. Awareness is there under Bahishcha. It is inside as well as outside. But ignorance is the one which is limiting us to seeing that awareness is happening only within my intellect or within my body. So to narrate and to remove these type of further things, he is concluding the mantras into the next valli, giving different examples and also explaining it in a different perspective altogether for us to understand. Now the first mantra is a very famous mantra, which is there literally almost in the same manner in the Bhagavad Gita also. Urdhamoolam murdhamulaha avashakaha yesha ashwatta sanadanaha tadeva shukram tad brahma tadeva amrutamuchyate tasmin lokaha shrita sarve gadu tadu na atyedi kasyana edadvaitat. Edadvaitat. This indeed is that one which I have been talking all this time. O Nachiketa, I can give you an example by which I can depict it to you or make you understand. Urdhva moolam atashava shaka. That means that imagine a peepal tree or a banyan tree with its root in the top and branches spread toward the downward. Meant an inverted tree of banyan tree. Now, banyan tree is a sacred tree, but the word Ashwata also has got Nashattu, Shwashvata Tat Ashwata. That which is not immortal is Ashwata. But he has also added the word Sanatana in this one to explain that. So don't think that it is a perishable tree which I am talking about, which you and I see on the surface of the earth. It is a tree depicted with its root upwards and the branches and the leaves and the figs and the trees out the downward. This, an example, is to understand that from one seed, how a small, I don't know how many of you have seen the seed of a fig tree. The fruit of a fig tree itself is the size of a gooseberry or a marble. But when you break open it, you will find millions of small seeds in it. Now each of them are potential for a huge banyan tree which can even spread even to almost about 200, 300 square meters if it is let to grow. And we will see that branches also have got, which are supporting things which are coming and which is going down to the earth. So if you, after some time, you don't know which is the main trunk, which is the subsequent trunk which has come, or from the branches which has dropped down. Now imagine such a tree which is upside down. From a seed, a tree of this size has come means the entire creation which we can imagine is from that one source. And as it comes down, it is becoming many, the trunk and the branches and the leaves and these are all the multitudes of the universe of the cosmos which we are all part of it. So each leaf or each twig in that represents one creation of that. But everything comes from that one seed. Now, in the normal sense, we see the seed sprouting from the ground, going upwards for the sunlight and its energy and its existence. But here, it is depicted upside down. It doesn't need anybody's energy for its own survival. It is the source of the energy. The source is the sun. Here, it is on the top of even the sun, because the sun is a part of the creation from the point of this philosophical tree which we are talking about. At the same time, the beauty is that there are supporting, that veins or the, rope type of a thing which are coming from the branches, which is going in the same direction of the root into the top. So some philosophers say those are the branches of jnanis who have found the source, and they are going back towards that, leaving the rest of the thing, and they are supporting this. Their presence in the world, the jnanis who have been there in the world or who are in the world, are the one who is supporting the world in today what it is. So in all that formalities, that depiction of the philosophical tree is in such a way that one small seed is capable of creating such a big tree. What to talk about that one source which cannot be even seen with the eyes, who has created the entire cosmos, and then the one who have realized that source, where is this source, and are the jnanis who are working towards that. This is the picture which is given that. So imagine, O Nachiketa, this is what it is like. Amrita Muchyate, it is immortal. Tad Brahma, that itself is Brahma. Tadeva Shukram, that is the most thing. So if I'm analyzing the verse, it is Yeshaha Sanadana Ashwata, this universe, imagine like an eternal fig tree, with Urdham Ulam Avdashaka, the roots upwards and the branches downward. Tadeva Shukram, Shukram means pure, that is pure. And Tadeva Brahma, that itself is Brahma. Amrita Muchyate, it is told, it is called Amritam. And it is called Amritam in the sense here it is because the Ashwatthama tree is supposed to be immortal. But here is a more immortal tree which you are talking about. It doesn't, Yat Krutagam Tadnashyam. Whatever is a creation is perishable. So from that point of view, we cannot say this is a creation from the universal source of Brahman, and then it will, since it's a creation, then it has got a end date, a beginning date and end date. But here it is Amrita Muchyate. Here it is an immortal tree, which has no beginning, no end. And Sarve Lokaha Shritaha Tasmin U Nakashana Teti. All the world, which means all the branches and the leaves and trees which are represented by the different worlds, represented by this one, is in Tasmin Sritaha, is depending upon that. And Na Atyedi, nothing exceeds that. This is what it is saying, that it is not beyond, nothing goes, exceeds the life or the mortality of that, because it is the one which is permanently immortal. So this is how the tree has to be seen by us who are looking for a figurative way of looking at that. Even though it's philosophical in nature, we have to understand that this is not a tree by nature, it's a philosophical depiction of that one seed which has become many, or from that one immortal one, which appears to be all the mortals. Everything is mortal in that, because the leaves will fall, the fruits will fall, branches will decay, but the seed will remain. Yad idam kincha jagat sarvam prana yejati nispritam mahadbayam vajramudhyatam ya etat vidur mrita te bhavanti. Now he is going and explaining how the world functions in that. Mahad Bayam Vajramudditam Yatat. Like a weapon similar to lightning in a hand, if somebody is coming behind us, what is the feeling we are having? We are having a fear, no? And when we are under fear, we do not stop running, and that running is never stopping. as long as the fear is there. So here a picturization is given that how the whole world is functioning because it is continuously functioning because as if they are all having fear of the creator or the Brahman, from where that creation has happened. And that is why different names, and in the 3 or 4 mantras here is giving the detailed description. The first of the mantras is Idam Jagat Sarvam, this entire universe, Yancha Kinchit Nisrutam, whatever that has been emerging out of it, Tat Ejati Prane Mahadbayam Uddidam Vajram, that it remains in that Atman, yet it moves as if with the fear of that thunderbolt which is there. Ya yadad viduhu te amrita bhavanti. One who knows that it is that force of Atman because of which everything in my, now forget about the tree, come to our individual body. Who is operating the prana? Who is operating the heart? Who is operating the digestion system? Who is operating the skin, the hair growth, decay, nails, and the internal organs, kidney, liver, everything in our body? Can we say we are the one who is operating that? Even when we are in deep sleep, when we are not having the identity with the body, also it is functioning. To depict that there is some force with which, the fear of which, these organs or these, functions do not stop functioning unless it decides to stop it. Till we have no control on our internal organs, we have no control on our prana, which we can stop and at a will, how long we want to do this thing. We cannot stop our heart. Nothing can be done. It's all running by instinct. Same is the case with the sun, the moon, the stars and everything, which will come in the next mantra setting. Those who people know that there is this power residing in everything, and it is there in every world, or every atom it is there. They amrita bhavanti. They become immortal because they know that it is from this root, the bijam, that some small seed, the whole world has come. So they are not separate from that. They are part of that seed, or they are the seed in a different form. Karya Karana Bhavam. That the seed itself has become the tree, and that is why that it appears to be separate, but it is not in reality separate from that. It is in essence the juice and that seed, what is from which the tree has come. Same way, it is from the same source the body has come. The functions of the body is working, and everything one is working because of Tasya Bhasa Sarvam Idam Vibhati, because of which everything is working. Then in the next mantra, he says, Asya Bhayat Agni Tapati, Asya Bhayat Tapati Suryaha, Asya Bhayad Indrascha Vayuscha, Asya Bhayad Mrityuddhavati Panchama. Now he is taking from the individual level to the whole cosmos. Asya Bhayad Agni Tapati. Because of this act of, forced by that. See, here you should not take Bhayam as a fear from that fear of God or fear of Atman and everything. Fear is given as a depicting that never goes from the mind of a person even after the whole, knowledge, that fear, as long as we have the separatedness, Idara Mandaram Gurde, Tatathatya Bhayam Bhavati is what the mantra says in Taittiriya. So as long as we have the feeling of the separatedness from that Brahma, we are under the fear of it, because Dvitiyat Vai Bhayam Bhavati. From the second, we have always had the fear of it. So Agni, when it thinks I am the Agni Tapati, Agni is functioning because as if it is fear of that Atma. The separatedness is the cause for that. Same way for the Surya, which is that the non-stop functioning of the fire or the sun, and Indrascha. The Indra is the, king of the Devas. Vayuscha. Here Indra you can also take as Indriyas or the sense organs of in the human body. Vayuscha is the wind, or we can take as a prana also. Asya bhayat mrityur dhavati panchama. The fifth one among them, the Agni, Surya, Indra, Vayu, and the fifth is the Mrityu. In the human body, if you look at the heat, the Agni is representing the body heat. Surya is the vision with which we are able to, which is representing the sense of light which we are seeing. Indrascha, Vayuscha are the sense organs. Vayu is pranas and Indra is the sense organs. So Pancha Prana and Panchendriyas. All of them, and including the fifth one, the last one, which will take away even the body. Mrityur Davati Panchama. Even the Mrityu, it also goes from one created item to another created item. It never stops eliminating whatever has been created, because that is the job of the Mrityu. Mrityu means to eliminate, to here. So this is all these functionalities which we see in the world, or is tasya bhayat, in fear of that. Now here, when I'm using the word fear, you should not, again I'm repeating, don't think that it is something dreadful or fearful. It is only to show that non-stop intention to work comes from only to depict from the Bhaya. So they are all functioning non-stop in the world which have been created, because that is what they have been created for. And then they take the support from the Brahma for that. Iha chet ashak bodhum prak sharirasya visrasa tada sargeshu lokeshu sharirastvaya kalpade. Chet bodhum iha. If one manages to know ashakat, one manages to know this here, prak visrasa sharirasya, before one's body falls dead. Tataha, that otherwise, sharirasvaya kalpate, one becomes fit in the body only for lokeshu sargeshu. It goes from world to world. What does it mean that? If one comes to know and wants to understand the reality of the functioning of the world and the functionality of the individual, who we are or what is we are and what is our true nature, for such a person, he has no worry. Before he falls, his body falls down after death. If one person knows, bin Jivan Mukta is what he is indicated here, there is no fear for him left, because he has understood that he doesn't come back to this world again. Or else, this who do not know this truth, they keep running from life to life. They're running, it doesn't stop with this life. They keep running from one world to another world, life after life, until they know about it. This is how this whole thing is functioning. Yada adarshe tada atmani, yada swapne tada pitraloke, yada apsu pariva drishyate, tada gandharvaloke, chaya tapo yaha brahmaloke. Now he is giving the examples of what is that knowing, how does it happen, like, if you know it before your body falls, then there is no birth again. But how does it happen, or how does it look like? Yada adarshe tada atmani. How we able to see our own reflection in a adarsha, means mirror. In a mirror, our own reflection is perfect, and we see it every aspect of our face or our body in a mirror, which means it is a perfect replica in a mirror. but it is unreal in the sense that it doesn't have a reality, it's only a reflection. Same way, Atmani, in the awareness, we are projecting ourselves as individuals. Now, I am reminded of a famous stuti here, or the sloka here, from the Drishyam Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijandargatam Pasyannatmani Mayaya Bahurivor Bhudam Yada Nidraya. That what does the sloka there? Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari. Like a world reflected on a mirror, even though every aspect of the world is seen in the reflection of the mirror, Pasyannatmani, same way it is in our awareness that whole world is being reflected. We are seeing the world is outside, but our awareness is reflecting the world which is outside there. And the world outside is known only when the reflection takes place in our awareness. Pasyannatmani, and it is this separation which is seen as outside, while the experience are inside. Mayaya, due to the ignorance or the maya or avidya, bahirivo, the world is outside. Bhudam yada nidraya. Now, in the sleep, we have, in the dream, the world is created. Now, the dreamer is there in the dream itself, and for the dreamer who is in the dream, for it also the world of his dream is outside. But everything, if you look at from the point of view, the one who is dreaming, it is all happening within himself. But he himself goes into the dream and he sees the world of the dream as outside him. Now, this is the example which is given here. Yada adrishe tada atmani. Yada sopne. Like in the dream. Tada pidruloke. Now in the pidruloka, the example which Shankara gives is slightly different. He says that in the pidruloka, the realization is like swapna, which it will not really materialize. Only in this world, here, ihache avedi atasatyamasti, na cheti veta mahata vinashti. There is another sloka from another Upanishad. What it says is that if you learn it, if you know it from here, that is all we can do. It is the only thing which we can do it. Na veti chet mahati vinashti. If you do not know, it is the greatest calamity one can ever think of. That means it is the biggest loss, having got the human body and an intellect which can think. If we do not think and find out what is the reality of, you have wasted our life in this time. That is what the Upanishad says. But here it is saying that the same way that, if you ask many, this is what we are seeing at. If you don't realize it, you may go to Pidraloka, but there you won't be able to realize it, because Pidraloka is like a Swapnaloka. There nothing is real. Yada apsu paridrishyate iva tada Gandharvaloke. Now Gandharvaloka is another loka which is mentioned. There it is like a mirage, reflections in a mirage. So there is no reality of that. There are two examples of that thing. Chayatavo Brahmaloke iva. Now there is one possibility is in the Brahmaloka where you can see it like the light and the shadow, clarity, clearly you can see it, but yet it is seen outside, not within yourself. You do not get to know as your reality. You may know the truth, but as light and shadow which you have to see physically outside. You know that the difference between the two, but that doesn't become your own, your experience. Only in this world, we have the potency to know that it is my tattvam, atmani, yadat adrashe. like a mirror, I am able to reflect the whole world in my awareness. When I am saying that it is not restricted to the body which I am owning it. I am not restricted to this body, physical body, even though I have to say that for transaction purpose, this body is irrelevant to me. But when I'm coming to from the point of view of my awareness is not restricted to my body. I am aware of my body, I am aware of my surroundings, I am aware of the world, I am aware of everything, I am even aware of what is not existing. That which is not existing also as non-existing, something which is non-existent is also in my awareness. Nothing is outside myself in my awareness. From when you look at from that point of view, without awareness, nobody can even pinpoint or tell that this is outside awareness. That means everything is within me, Atmani. This is what is, if you do not know in this life before your body falls in, you have lost this life for yourself. This is what Yama says to Nachiketas. In the next sloka, he says that Indriyanam pratak bhavam udayastasya yachayat pratak utpadhyamananam matva dhiro na shochati. Now, dhira na shochati. Here, the Demantaha, the intelligent one, he is never worried or he is not grieving because he has known what is the reality. Yet pratak bhavam, what is the separate nature of Indriyas? Indriyas, this is how the second valley started. Paranchikani vitranat swayambhu tasmat parang pashyati. It looks outward. So the Indriyas are limited. Indriyas cannot be seen. This is what he wanted to say that. Pratak bhavam, the capacity of the Indriya sense organs is known to such a wise person who knows that this tattvam or this truth which is being divulged by Yama as the Brahma tattvam, Amrita Bhavanti, knowing which you become immortal, is not Indriya Gocharam. It is not within the capacity of the Indriyas to know about it. Cha udayas tas samayo. That the Indriyas have got ups and downs in the sense that they have capacities which they become big, where their potency is 100%, then there are times when they are not even potentiated. Like the eye has a potency to see only when the light is not, light is there. When the light is not there, the eyes are of no use. Same is the case with all our sense organs. Then they have got ups and downs. So here is some truth which has no ups and downs, which is immortal and the big and everywhere. How a limited indriya can, or the sense organ can even fathom that. Utpadhyamananam pratak bhavam. That actions which are coming from actions and knowing them as separate from that body. That even here the karmendriyas are also being included in it. There is limitation for our organs of action, including intellect, which is one of the subtlest and more reaching, more wide-ranging of the karmendriyas which we have, the thinking capacity. Even that has limitations when it comes to the limit of the limitless or the immortal self, which is that the one who knows about it, the dhiraha matva na shotati, not knowing that this is not within the realm of the indriyas, but not with the realm of the action. I cannot achieve by my any of the action. Na yatnyana, na danena, na tapaha. Yatnyadana tapakarma cannot get me this, neither by the austerity, nor by the chanting, nor by the pujas, nor by doing pranayama, nor doing by any action, yatnya, etc. I cannot achieve this. This is beyond the indriyas, beyond the karmendriyas, beyond the sendriyas. So he is repeating another here from which is a second valli mantra in a slightly different way. Indriyebhya param manaha, manasas sattvam uttamam, sattvadiva mahanatma, mahado abhyaktam uttamam. Now if we look at it, if you remember if what we have there in the previous mantra we have seen that where when the chariot example was given, here we had heard that That is what is Indrebhya Panam Manaha. Indrebhya Param Harta, Hartebhya Param Manaha, Manasastu Para Buddhir, Buddhiratma Mahan Paraha. Mahada Param Avyaktam, Avyaktat Purusha Paraha, Purushat Param Na Kinchit. Sa Kashta Sa Paragadi is what in the Tritiya Valli of the Pratama Adhyaya has said. Whereas here he is saying that Indriyebhya Param Manaha, Manasa Sattva Uttamam. Now, this is superior to the senses, because that means superior to senses means it is not within the realm of the senses. The senses cannot fathom it. Manasa Sattvam Uttamam. The mind, which is superior to the intellect, superior to the sense organs, is superior to the condition or the limitation or the capacity of the indriyas. Sattvadim Manas Mahanatma. This Sattvam here is intellect. This Mahanatma, this Atma of ours is Mahan, is beyond the Sattvam. Even the intellect cannot comprehend it, because intellect has a limitation to comprehension. This is beyond that Mahanatma. This Mahanatma, this great Atma or the Mahat, is bigger for even the intellect to grasp it. Mahadam Avyaktam Uttamam. Now, here is a historical statement of that is Mahata Avyaktam Uttamam. Compared to the Mahata, that means Mahanatma, compared to the Mahanatma, Avyaktam Uttamam. Now, since we have been always thinking that Atma is the biggest and everything. Here is what Yama is giving one more surprise to Nachiketa, saying that don't think that Atma which is residing in you, or what you say that is Andar Bahishcha Andaratma, Angushta Matra Purusha, Bahar Andascha Bahishcha, that is the biggest. Avyakta Muktamam. The Avyakta form or the unmanifest form of the Atma is superior to even the Atma which is in the form of multitude here. Sarvam Khaluidam Brahma, even though Brahma is supposed to be in the form of many. Now superior to that is the unmanifest form of that Brahma, which is known as Avyaktam. That means the fig tree which is of such a big size has no existence unless the seed which is even not able to see by the eye. Same way, the whole world has no substance or existence without the Avyaktam, which is the unmanifest form of that awareness, where the awareness or the existence is not even existing in the form of existence. It is the unmanifest form of it. That is greater than the Atman which we are thinking. Now he is taking further down there. Avyakta tu parapurushaha vyapagha alinga evacha yam nyaptva muchyate janduhu amrudatvam cha gacchati. Now he is relating this mantra to that one which is saying that though if you do not know it before your body falls here in this life, you will be going in search of Mrityurdavati Panchamahiti. You will be running after one after the other life in all the worlds. Millions and millions of lives you will be taking. But knowing this only, you can stop that running. You will stop running of the ghost only when you know that it is not a ghost, it is a post. Same way, you will stop running if you know that it is not a water pond, it is a mirage. You will stop running. Same way, knowing the truth that what is made out of everything is that, then only that running will stop. Same way, here he is saying that Avyakta tu Purusha Parapurushaha. That Purusha or that entity He cannot use a word, but so he uses the word Purusha here. Avyaktat Paraha. It is even superior than the Avyakta. Now that word is very, very crucial. Avyaktat Paraha. Purusha. Why? Because Avyaktat, the word Avyaktat can come only from Vyaktat. That means what is manifest. If the word manifest is there only, you can say unmanifest. You can add the un to the manifest only if the word manifest has got any relevance at all. The creation came from the unmanifest when you say that, because there are manifest which we call it as the world of multiplicity, therefore there is an unmanifest form. Like the pot, when it was in the mud form, it was unmanifest pot in the form of mud. Satkaryavadam. Where did the pot come from? No, the pot was there as unmanifest form in the mud before. When it took a name and shape and form, then we call the mud itself, we call it as pot. The mud has never become the pot, but pot is a reality. It has got a arthakriya karita, means the utility is there. It can hold water, cook one, or store things like that. There is a utility for the name and form. But the reality is that the name and form is nothing but mud. If you remove the mud from the pot doesn't exist. Same way, the manifest, which is the world outside, has come from that unmanifest Brahma, that Purusha Paraha, Parapurusha. No, that Avyakta. If the Avyakta, if the seed of the banyan tree has not been there, the banyan tree would not have come into existence. Same way, if the Avyakta was not there, none of the Vyaktas or none of the manifest, the world which we are experiencing, has no existence at all. Because the manifestation came from that unmanifest. Now here he says, the Purusha, that Mahan Purusha, that ultimate Purusha, or from that, is even superior to the Avyaktam, even superior to the unmanifest. Alinga evacha. Linga means identification. Alinga means there is no way to identify that. It cannot be called Avyakta. It cannot be called, I am calling it by a name Purusha, because even the Purusha name, you don't consider it as a human being or a man with the hands and legs and forms. That it's not that. Alinga evacha. It doesn't have any identification to which words can comprehend it or control it or bring it into the nomenclature limit. Alingacha. Yam natva, knowing that Janduhu, who have been created, Janma Yasya Astisa Jantu, who are all taken birth, or those who have been created, Muchyate, they get released from what? From this running of everlasting running from life to life, living to living, day to day, night to night, and all sorts of time and space and limitations are released. He is released, Muchyate. Amrudatvam Chagachati. He becomes immortal. For him, for such a person who knows this as the truth, as his own nature, that is what it is all about. And that is my nature. And I am the Purusha I am that part of the Purusha, or the Purusha itself is, when it became Avyakta, and from Avyakta it has become the Vyakta, or it is unmanifest, and unmanifest became the manifest. All those are one essence. The pot itself is nothing but mud. The waves are nothing but the ocean. The ocean itself is appearing as multiple waves. The one who knows this type of reality, Amrudatvam Chagachati, he gets from this birth into immortality. He's this thing. Na sadrsho tishtati rupamasya na chakshuk pashyadi kaschanainam. Hridamanisa manasa viklipto yat tad vidur amritaste bhavanti. Such a person will become immortal, amrita bhavanti. Who na sadrisho tishtati rupam asya. Now one, there is nothing similar to this, to even to compare and tell. Even the Ashwatha thing I could only tell because from the manifest and unmanifest. But Purusha, which is Param than the Avyakta, there is no Sadrasha Rupam. I can't, there is no example in the world I can tell you what it is like. Na Rupam Asya Tishtadi Sadrasha. There is nothing, there is no example, no simile can be used to explain that. Na kaschani paschadi chakshusha. Now chakshusha is only one example of giving to all the type of sense organs, both karmendriya and jnanendriyas, the sense organs and actions organs. Na kaschana paschati. It is cannot be grasped by any of the sense organs, nor there is a simile which is outside, which I can show that. Hrida avliklita manasa manisha. Through the mind of one who thinks about from the Shruti Vakyas, from the words of the Upanishad, who can contemplate on that in their heart, enam edad viduhu, they know that it is not knowable. It cannot be comprehended. They know that it cannot be comprehended, and such people who knows that it is a reality. At the same time, it is not comprehensible within the mind, with the instruments. That knowledge alone can rise in the mind. Asti, that is, there is this Purusha, that is reality from where all these things are appearing. At the same time, that Purusha, that ultimate cannot be comprehended with, because there is no similar thing which I can show it from the world outside or anything, nor can the sense organs of action and or sense organs of, the senses can clutch that. One who knows that, yet he cannot deny the existence of that reality. Esa edad viduhu te amrita bhavanti. Such a person is immortal indeed. He has no more going and coming. He stops him. He is not worried about his body falling, because where can the body fall apart from that? Where can the waves fall but to ocean? He knows that sarvatra, sarvam khalidam brahma. He is not worried about it. See, he is amrita bhavanti. He becomes immortal. We'll stop it here. And another 9 more mantras are there, which we will do it in the next Wednesday. With that, I think we should be able to complete this Upanishad. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavada. Thank you everyone.